It wasn't supposed to go this way. One slip-up could have ruined everything, and for a second, it looked like it might. But then, Cleetus McFarland turned what could have been a forgettable day at Talladega into one of the most thrilling rides of his racing life. Racing in the ARCA Menards Series in the number 30 Ford for Rette Jones Racing, Cleetus didn't just show up, he made people pay attention. Around 70,000 fans tuned in to watch from the in-car camera alone, hoping to witness something wild. They weren't disappointed. Now let's rewind a bit. His last ARCA appearance at Daytona? It was rough. Multiple wrecks, a tad lax finish, the kind of race that sticks with you for the wrong reasons. But this time, at Talladega, Cleetus had something to prove. Except things didn't exactly start smoothly. He forgot his hands device before rolling off pit road. That alone would have rattled any driver's nerves. Starting 24th on a track like Talladega, where positioning is everything. Yeah, it wasn't ideal, but here's where it gets interesting. Cleetus clawed his way into the top 10 within just a few laps. That kind of charge doesn't happen by accident. He was driving with confidence, making aggressive yet smart moves. Then, out of nowhere, a broken valve spring kicked in. Engine issues. He lost the draft and slipped back to 20th. Anyone else might have given up hope right there, but not Cleetus. Instead, he stayed in the game, waited, watched, hoped for a caution, and that's exactly what he got. A wreck unfolded near him, close enough to smell burnt rubber, but his car barely touched. The kind of luck you rarely see at Talladega. From there, things only got crazier. In overtime, he restarted on the 14th. The pressure? Unbelievable. One wrong move, and it's game over. But when a slower car caused a massive wreck, Cleetus pulled off what can only be described as high-speed ballet, dodging chaos like a pro. The race ended under caution, and when the dust settled, he'd landed a top 10 finish, officially 10th from the 24th, with engine trouble and a late wreck. Tell me that's not impressive. What makes it even better? His post-race interview, classic Cleetus. He credited his cut-off sleeves for good luck. Yeah, you read that right. Then he compared the race to riding a tired horse while flying through mayhem. It was hilarious, humble, and just the kind of moment that reminds fans why they love him. He gave a shout out to Ilmore for building a tough engine and showed genuine appreciation for crew chief Kevin Hamlin, whose calm voice on the radio kept him focused during the craziest moments of the race. But perhaps the biggest takeaway? Cleetus isn't done, not even close. He flat out said he's looking to return to Talladega, and if this race proved anything, it's that he belongs there. For someone known more for YouTube than the winner's circle, he's not just holding his own. He's giving seasoned drivers a real run for their money. This wasn't just a fun detour for Cleetus, it was a statement. Through setbacks, mechanical hiccups, and near disaster, he powered through. And that's the kind of grit that grabs attention, not just from fans, but from folks higher up in NASCAR too, including people like Elton Saywer, who is already making bold decisions in the wake of internal changes that are shaking things up across the board. And if performances like this keep happening, those decisions might start pointing toward guys like Cleetus McFarland a lot more often. Just when the dust started to settle at Talladega, another storm began to brew. This time in the garage, not on the track. Justin Haley, who had been trying to find his rhythm with Saywer Motorsports, was hit with an unexpected shakeup that could have derailed any driver's momentum. Just before one of the most critical races on the calendar, his crew chief Rodney Childers made a shocking exit. And this wasn't just any crew chief. Childers brought with him a legacy, over 600 cup races under his belt, a reputation for smart calls, and a championship pedigree. So when he was brought in by Saywer Motorsports, it wasn't just a hire, it was a signal that this team meant business, that they weren't here to play catch-up, they were here to compete. But 9 races in, things weren't clicking. With only one top 10 finish and the team languishing in 23rd place in the standings, the pressure started to mount. Then, without warning, Childers was gone. No press buildup, no farewell, just gone. And for Justin Haley, the news hit like a late race pileup. He wasn't in the room when the decision was made. He had no say at all. Imagine preparing for a high-stakes event and suddenly finding out your right-hand man is, but without your input. That's exactly what happened. The frustration was written all over Haley's face. Timing is everything in racing, and this timing couldn't have been worse. The departure wasn't just about one man. It triggered a ripple effect. Other key personnel followed Childers out the door, leaving the team scrambling for stability right when they needed it most. But here's where the story takes a turn. Enter Ryan Sparks. Not a stranger to Haley, their past working relationship was a glimmer of hope amid the chaos. Sparks wasn't just stepping in as the crew chief, he was also the team's competition director, which gave him both authority and insight. It was a calculated move by Spire to restore some order, and for Haley it meant he had someone familiar in his corner again. The two now find themselves in a high-pressure rebuild, not of a car, but of chemistry, confidence, and trust. Haley has made it clear he's not here to dwell on what went wrong. He's focused on the road ahead, locking in with Sparks to adapt quickly and find performance gains where they can. It's a tough spot, no doubt. But it's also the kind of adversity that reveals who's ready to rise and who's ready to fold. With a new voice on the radio and a reshuffled garage crew, the rest of the season now holds a different kind of drama. One that won't be decided by just checkered flags, but by how well this team can regroup and fight back under pressure. When it comes to Talladega, few drivers know its high-speed chess match better than Brad Keselowski. With 6 wins, 12 top 5 finishes, and 16 top 10 finishes in just 32 starts, his stats speak for themselves. But even for a veteran like Keselowski, Talladega remains a track where unpredictability reigns. His average finish of 15 reflects that, no matter how skilled or experienced you are, this place doesn't hand out guaranteed results. That uncertainty is something Keselowski acknowledges openly. He said that today's drivers have far less control over how things play out at super speedways. Racing here now is more about timing and cooperation than ever before. You can do everything right and still come home with a torn-up car, or worse, a clean one sitting outside the top 10. For this year's race, Keselowski qualified 22nd. Ironically, the same spot he started in last spring. That race saw him climb up to 8th by the end of Stage 1, drop back to 23rd in Stage 2, and then surge forward to finish 2nd overall. He pulled off the same result last fall, starting 13th and once again finishing runner-up. It's that kind of consistent near miss that both highlights his skill and the brutal randomness of the race. But Keselowski doesn't just hope for good luck. He understands the physics and psychology of modern racing better than most. He pointed out that drivers used to rely on air bubbles between cars to gain speed without contact. Now, it's all about physical pushing. If you're not getting a shove from the guy behind you, you're not going anywhere. That's where strategy becomes critical. According to Keselowski, drivers running in spots 3 through 6 behind the leader have the real power. They're the ones who decide who gets the push, who gets hung out, and ultimately who gets a shot at the win. Last year, Brad felt he had positioned himself perfectly only to watch it slip away because the push he needed never came. It's a frustrating reality, one that leaves even a seasoned pro feeling helpless. Percent chance he'll end up in a wreck. The real win isn't percent chance he'll end up in a wreck. The real win isn't just surviving, it's thriving amid chaos. Finishing outside the top 10 with a clean car, that's worse than crashing. To him, true success is turning that clean race into a top-tier finish, and few understand how to do that better than he does. Let us know what you think in the comments below, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button for more updates and insights from the world of NASCAR.